I'm also a person that likes to challenge myself every day. If I'm not growing every single day, then I'm actually feeling like I'm taking a step backward. And my biggest opponent is actually myself. And every single day, I'm looking to actually continue to outgrow the person that I was the day before.
Learning to swim is about learning from others. Be the author of your own story, not a character in somebody else's story. Get inspired by others to take action. Learn how to set goals to exceed your own expectations. So often the answer that you are looking for is right in front of you. On Learning to Swim, we highlight those answers through storytelling. Hello.
Hello, Kristan.
How are you doing, Cliff?
Fantastic. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. It's Friday, right?
Yes, it is. It's Friday and it's sunshine.
Yes, totally. So I am delighted to have Cliff Pierre with me today on Learning to Swim. And I want to give you a short bio on Cliff. He is a new friend of mine and so dear to me, and I love what he does and the energy that he brings to it. So the official bio is Cliff Pierre is a digital marketing consultant that specializes in high ticket customer acquisition solutions for, get this now, business coaches, consultants, experts, agencies, course creators, personal trainers, and more. Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot. And he can do it all. So I've got news for you people. In addition to specializing in social media, lead generation services, and SEO services, working with small and medium-sized businesses, including Mattress Depot, AA Real Estate Group, and Rainbow Sushi Restaurant, just to name a few. So welcome.
Thank you for the invite, and it's an honor to be on here to teach people how to swim or learning how to swim.
Learning to swim. So this is the way that this works is I have questions that I'm going to ask you. You have not seen these questions, and these questions were actually created a while ago. So they are pre-COVID questions, which I think is very interesting when I circle back on them now. So starting with question number one, what does resilience mean to you?
Resilience is a person that can endure situations and actually see the light at the end of the tunnel and still kind of persevere. That's what resilience means to me, and kind of knowing what your end goal is.
Nice. And then what does failure look like to you?
Failure is not necessarily having something go according to plan, but being able to pick yourself back up to learn from that mistake and take every single failure as a learning experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things that when I think about resilience, when I think about learning from failure, or, there's kind of a failing forward is a way of describing of learning from your failures. I think that our curiosity is a really important attribute when we talk about these things. So, and I also think a lot about creativity and problem solving, and I think that curiosity relates to those other topics too. So I would say, because in my experience, you're an amazing problem solver and you are a very creative thinker. So how do you remain curious?
I'm like a book, and I'm like learning every single day. There's so much information that I'm consuming. It's like you pick up a book. I'm also a person that likes to challenge myself every day. If I'm not growing every single day, then I'm actually feeling like I'm taking a step backward. And my biggest opponent is actually myself. And every single day, I'm looking to actually continue to outgrow the person that I was the day before. And that all starts with that learning process. So it's really spending the time to know who you are, figuring out what your weaknesses are, and figuring out what areas where you can improve, but not necessarily pointing out the weaknesses as a negative thing, just really focusing on your strengths and continuing that journey and never, ever stop learning is kind of one of my mottos, and I never stop learning.
I like that. So I also like that idea of the concept that you are saying, that you remain in competition with yourself, essentially, that you recognize. I mean, I think that's a very astute observation, that most of the time we are our biggest challenge to overcome, right? And so just having some awareness around that, and always looking to remain kind of in constant pursuit of kind of other new knowledge or new challenges or experiences.
I'd say it's a combination of them all, because I started this journey learning the back end tech of digital marketing 3.5 years ago, but I moved around to so many different places within the digital marketing space. And doing that, moving around and that, learning every single day, I meant to say I'm like a sponge. I just soak up information. And that sponge mentality is what allowed me to kind of figure out where my expertise lies in, instead of learning one thing and then just stopping there. So I just kind of always was on that hunt for what's the next best thing. And then I also want to add that value to my client. So if I stop learning, I feel like my value kind of caps. And I never want to cap the value that I add to my client. So that never ending learning phase is really what helps me personally propel. And like my birthday just passed, every single time that 365 days passes, I look back at the previous year to figure out what I want to do the following year, to continue that growth and to continue that learning. So it's really a self-reflection on me, and my birthday kind of forces me to stop and say, where was I last year? Where I am this year? What I want to continue to do the following year.
Oh, I love that. Well, it's, we've kind of touched on this next question in some ways, because I love what you just said about using your birthday. I mean, it's such a natural point of reflection, right? And using that in your personal and professional development. But what would you say is your best, most simple habit that you do kind of on a daily basis? Or I guess it could be daily or monthly or however, but just something that you do consistently.
It's a good question. I would say there are a lot of things that I do consistently. One of them is just building habits that help me kind of continue to grow. I follow a lot of mentors. It's not just one mentor for me. So for me, it's, I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know if there's one thing that I do every single day.
Well, in terms of your mentors, if do you have a consistent way that you check in with them, or that you are interacting, or if it's people that maybe you don't know personally, but do you read content by certain people each day?
I'm more of a video guy. So I'm more of a video guy, and I wish I was more of a reader. I really enjoy video, and that's really how I absorb more information. So I would probably say I'm every single day watching a video or two to kind of help me kind of continue sharpening my blade. That's what I call it. Like, I'm always looking to sharpen my blade and add new pieces of information to it. I would say that's probably one of my biggest daily habits, just always looking for something new and having that curiosity every single day.
Okay, that's awesome. And then what would you consider is the secret to a meaningful life?
Understanding who you are, not being shy of who you are, finding your inner peace. And once you kind of find your inner peace, everything else just kind of comes together. And that's kind of one of my secrets to life, and not necessarily being more external. I'm learning to be more internal with myself, and then understanding like I'm the perfect coach, whether or not some days I may not feel like the perfect coach. It's just giving yourself that law of attraction and that positive mental mindset to keep me kind of always moving forward.
I like that. Thank you. So what would be one word to describe your professional journey?
Challenging. Because the challenges never stop, especially like in the social media advertising space. You may think you can hit one ball out the park, and then the next one, it's just something different. And then with the search engine optimization space, it's so much to absorb and so much information. So like some of my challenges are simplifying my tech stuff
Mm-hmm.
into second grade language. And
Mm.
those instances, because I thought as a tech person, people cared about the tech. They're hiring me to solve the problem, not to teach them the tech. So
Yeah.
those were some of the challenges that I face in just simplifying my life and simplifying everything. And I would say challenges is a word that I see every single day.
Okay. And well, you may have already answered this, but what would be one word to describe your life? And it could be your life at this moment, or it could be your life kind of as you just had a birthday, as you said. So it could be kind of a more, a bigger word for your journey.
I would say exceptional. The reason I would
Mm.
say exceptional is because I got this from one of my mentors, Reginald Grant, and every single time I call him, I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Exceptional as always." So it's like a lot of his energy kind of spills over to me, and I'm realizing like no matter how he feels, he always is exceptional. So I'd say my one word would be it's more of an adjective to describe me, but exceptional
Oh, I love it.
energy. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I think that's great.
yeah.
So I am curious because I'm curious about kind of what work means to people and where people started. Obviously I'm curious about people's journeys. So I love to hear about what was your very, very first paid position, like the first time you got paid to do a job or a task.
From the childhood days or from
Yeah,
the business
from
owner
like
days.
very first.
I was a camp counselor or like a counselor in training. So they called it like a CIT, counselor in training. It was like a summer job as a kid. And it was like a day camp that I went to as a child. And that day camp, we went to the day camp till we were 14. Then they give you a job as a counselor in training. So that was kind of like my first experience of a job, getting a paycheck, having money in your pocket. That was like my first experience. And it was a day camp. So it was 2.5 months every single summer. And then my
Yeah.
first real job was at Staples. I was a
Okay.
sales associate at Staples, and that was like my first real job.
Awesome. And so, do you see kind of any connections to those first positions to what you're doing now?
Those first positions made me realize I wanted to stand out from the norm. So Staples is a physical job. Being a counselor in training is a physical job. I've transitioned into using my brain. And
Hmm.
when you have a job where it's all up here, I can literally take my computer anywhere in the world and I can work from anywhere in the world because my job is more mental and it's strategy, consulting, and all those other things. So I wanted to transition from having to be in a physical place to work to
Hmm.
being able to just open up my laptop and work anywhere in the world.
Mm,
So that was what
nice.
I wanted to do. And I took that from those other experiences of what I didn't want to
Yeah.
find out what I did want.
Oh, awesome. And so, what would you consider to be your what I so what is your in plain sight talent?
People person.
Yeah.
I can start a conversation with anybody. And like sometimes I may be a little shy and timid, but once that conversation starts flowing, it's like I'm open and I'm so interested in other people.
Yeah, I would concur. And what are any maybe less obvious talents? What are some hidden talents?
I actually am an avid supporter of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, and most people would probably have no idea that I am a supporter of the cryptocurrency and blockchain and the future of payments, the future of finance, the future of transparency between parties and putting it onto a blockchain to remove the intermediary party that kind
Mhm.
of facilitates the process.
Hmm,
So I'm an avid supporter of blockchain technology, and most people would probably not know that.
awesome. And okay, so this is clearly a pre-COVID question. Your next trip, where are you going?
I need to go to Bali. I need to go check out that place. I've
Ah,
heard so much about it, and like as a laptop lifestyle guy, I would love to go see if I can kind of transition. And it's cheaper to live overseas than it is in the States. And
yeah,
I'm not the office type of person, so I'm grab my laptop and go and just grab my dog. That's it. So I'd say Bali.
that sounds great. And then what is your favorite holiday? And you can include your birthday. That can be considered a holiday.
I would say I don't want to sound like the sappy lover guy, but Valentine's Day is a cool holiday because everybody's so nice and giving love to each other. I like Thanksgiving a lot too because it brings the family together and everybody gets to eat. And my mom makes some of my favorite food to eat. So Valentine's Day and Thanksgiving, one of those two, I'd say.
I love that. Okay, what's your favorite? I'm curious. So what's your favorite thing that your mom makes at Thanksgiving?
Macaroni, rice, and chicken. She makes some beets for me. She makes some turkey for me. She just kind of gives me that whole plate. So it's beets, macaroni, some lasagna, some rice, some chicken, some lettuce here and there. And it's just the combination. And it's just like belly full, happy son.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She must be cooking for days in order to get that.
She loves cooking. My mom's like one of those. I was fortunate when my mom was always cooking homemade meals as a kid. So like I studied abroad in Brazil, and my host mother would cook too, and she would cook rice, and I would just be like, I need more rice, more rice. So she was always like, "Mas arroz, Cliff, like more rice." I'm like, "Yeah, give me that more rice." I got that from my mom.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love that. Oh, okay. So, do you have dreams where you fly?
I fly like physically.
Yeah. Like, do you
I
ever
thought about
dream
that
where
the other
you're
day.
flying?
Yeah, I literally thought about the other day. I seen like a little bird and it had like I can tell it couldn't fly. And in my head I thought about like what if I can fly and just kind of like see the aerial view. And being on that plane coming back from like my trip and birthday, it was like in Vegas, when you see Vegas from the air and when you see Vegas from the ground, it's like completely different. And I didn't really
Mm.
understand like how small everything looked from the air and how desert it looked. So it made me like, It made me think about just kind of seeing more of an aerial view around the world, maybe to see the
Mhm.
different perspective. Because when you land, it's like you feel like you're at the same level as everybody else. But when you're in the air, it's a different reflection. So I'd probably want to just fly to see the aerial view of different places and to kind of see how that helps me maybe reflect and maybe get some pictures as well while I'm flying to get some content too.
I love that. I love that. Well, I know that, when I am working with different clients, a lot of times we do talk about getting that 30,000-foot view versus, so the more macro and the micro and, and the weeds versus that bigger view. And like you just put it so well that it gives you so much more context for whether it's, a place or a process that you're doing or whatever it is. It's, yeah, a lot of value in being able to toggle between those two.
And seeing the boats on the water when you're in the air and like seeing people on jet skis and seeing like that action makes you like, I want to go do that too. So it's like seeing it from the air is different from just being on the ground level and seeing it. So it was a different perspective when you're in the air and you just kind of see things moving around compared to
Yeah.
being on the ground level. And it's like you don't have that advantage. So that was
Yeah.
interesting. And that was literally that reflection during my birthday time.
Mm. Well, so if you had to, um, is there like an animal that you really kind of align yourself with, or if you were being cast in a animated film and it's all, it's one of these ones where it's all animals, who would you be?
So my sign, I'm a Leo, and so I'm a
Okay.
lion. But I literally had this question the other day. I'd be a bald eagle. I'd be a
Ah.
bald eagle and be able to. I want to feel that and not instinct type of. I want to be an exclusive bird, 6 feet wingspan, and kind of see what a bald eagle does, and just kind of fly and just. I don't know. I just thought about bald eagle, and then it's also the state national bird. So there must be something
Yeah.
special about a bald eagle. So I was like, maybe I should. That would be my animal of choice, and I can fly.
That would be awesome. And also, if I am remembering correctly, a lot of times bald eagles' nests are, kind of along a cliff.
Yeah.
And so you've got this amazing view too, right?
And then you're just like a bird that everybody kind of admires, but you don't see a bald eagle every single day.
Nope. Nope. It's pretty exceptional to see a bald eagle.
Yeah.
So last question, is there one question you wish I had asked you? And we can ask it now.
I would say, I don't know, that's a really good question too. One question would be, what motivates you?
Okay. What motivates you, Cliff Pierre?
What motivates me is growth. That that feeling from being a child to being an adult, and then even when you're in that adulthood, just going from my 20s to my 30s, and now I'm thinking about 30s to 40s, and it's like, oh my gosh. But like but the
Don't
20s,
get me started.
so like I was reading something on Maya Angelou the other day, and just she's mentoring Oprah, and just hearing her life and her life experiences and her passing that down to Oprah. And like now that I'm in the position where I feel like I'm growing every single day, I'm seeing my nephews, I'm seeing like my future generations. So now I'm like, my growth has been so immense from, that childhood phase, even just getting your bachelor's degree, going to get the master's degree and realizing it wasn't for me, being more of a business owner and realizing I'm really good at the high ticket side. That growth, I don't even really know how to sum it all up, but it helped me put so many different things into perspective. So now I want to kind of leverage that information and that growth and kind of pass it on to others, and then also kind of continue to see where my journey goes with that growth.
Well, I do think that's one of the things that I really love about you is I really appreciate that you're very reflective and introspective, and in a way that is, you are, I believe, and you also are always in service to other people. I think you're really one of the most generous and kind people that I know. So I feel very fortunate to know you. Well, that wraps up Learning to Swim today.
This was a
So
great session. I feel like I was backstroking in there.
Oh, you were fantastic. So thank you so much. And we're going to make sure that Cliff's information is available to everyone. And if you would like to get his help in the digital marketing space and SEO and all those social media and all the good stuff that he does, because he's super fantastic. And thank you again, Cliff.
Thank you so much. And I'll actually, one last thing, I'll
Yeah.
be speaking, I'm a guest speaker with the LA Black Business Expo on September 12th. Les Brown is actually headlining it, and there's a bunch of other prominent Black speakers that are going to be a part of it. My great contact, Reginald Grant, my colleague, he basically was like, Cliff, I want you to speak on this event. So September 12th, it's going to be an all-day event, virtual. I will share some more information with you, and maybe I'll even put a link out there somewhere, but it's going to be incredible, and stay tuned for that. I'll be sharing information about that. And the website's not done yet, but I will give you a quick little synopsis of the website. It's not done yet, but I will share that with Kristan, and she'll follow up with you all. And I look forward to speaking with Les Brown and kind of adding more
That's
value.
amazing. Yeah, congratulations. Yes, and we will be there for sure, watching, listening.
Kristan, this was amazing. I had so much fun.
Thank you. Our goal is to inspire others and share stories to find meaning in your daily life. Let go of the traditional norms and be yourself at home, work, and beyond. The awareness of bright spots and blind spots is a performance-enhancing tool that you can apply to your life and to your organization today.